My name is Shane Deegan. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer at Cynomi, where I oversee global revenue growth and go-to-market strategy. Okay, let's get into it then. A question we often come across from a number of our partners. And I fully believe the fastest path is to stop trying to become a full-blown security consultancy overnight. Most MSPs already have the trust, the client relationship, and the operational visibility. You already done the hardest part, so it's about taking those relationships and then bring them into the advanced security offerings. So the mistake many providers make is by thinking that they need to implement a SOC, 10 analysts, 200-page frameworks before they even have a security, conversation. Clients don't want perfection on day one. They want guidance. They want prioritization. They want someone who can explain the risk in plain English without sounding like a compliance document. Tim Coach, our evangelist here at Cynomi, often speaks on this at conferences. By translating, the tech jargon, the compliance jargon, all that language that we live in on a day-to-day basis into language that they understand is a key kind of component of having these conversations. So whether it be in legal or manufacturing or finance, by taking that tech jargon, the language we speak in, translating into language that they use on a daily basis, we see our partners have huge success with this. MSPs moving fastest are prioritizing advisory services. They start with assessments, risk visibility, ongoing conversations tied to business outcomes, and then layer the service in over time. Honestly, half the battle is confidence. If you have to explain to a client why their backup policy matters, or if you can explain to a client why their backup policy matters more than buying another shiny security tool, you're already ahead of most of the market. Okay, the profitable providers are the ones that stop treating security like a collection of one-off tools. The shiny new object mentality is real in this space, so as is tech debt. So start treating it like a scalable operational service. Margins disappear when every client has a custom stack, custom processes, and custom reports. That's not security, that's arts and crafts. You need to build and maintain a repeatable, process-driven, business assessment here, as opposed to these one-off engagements. The successful providers we see standardize everything where possible. They automate assessments, reporting, remediation workflows, and they focus their people on high-value conversations instead of manual stitching together spreadsheets at midnight before a QBR. They're also getting smarter commercially. Multi-year agreements, security bundles, advisory retainers create predictability and improve customer retention. And honestly, clients are willing to pay for security now. The challenge isn't demand anymore. The challenge is delivering it efficiently without hiring an army of expensive specialists every quarter. The MSPs that don't lead with fear. They lead with clarity. I've come across a number of not just MSPs, but vendors in the space selling through FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And it may equate to an easy, quick win, but honestly, it deteriorates or erodes trust over time. So the losing pitch will always be in the vein of the world is dangerous, buy more security. Everyone's heard that for already. We've heard it from vendors, we've heard it from MSPs, and everyone in between. So the winning pitch is really helping clients understand the actual risk, what matters most, and what practical steps reduce exposure without disrupting the business. The successful MSPs also make security understandable. They translate those technical issues, again, which I spoke about, into operational or financial impact. A business owner doesn't care about CVE numbers nearly as much as, could this stop my team from operating Monday morning? How long will I be out for? How long is my downtime? What's that actual cost of me being out of business? As opposed to, oh, there's a new scary new vulnerability, there's a new CVE out there, there's a new 0-day, which oftentimes they won't understand, they won't care to understand. The other major differentiator is consistency. The providers winning in security are bringing it up once a year during renewal season. They've embedded security into every client conversation, every review, and every strategic discussion. At the end of the day, the MSP succeeding in security aren't pretending to be the FBI. They're becoming trusted advisors who help clients make smarter decisions. That's what actually sells.